Alright guys, welcome to the tabletop version of this video. I threw in a little video of me flipping each one of these, but I wanted to sit down and kind of give you guys an introduction into this. So this is the official Balisong Collection video 2023. I realized that I've been buying a lot of Balisongs and I have a lot of stuff come in and out, and I wanted to do an updated video. I wanted to do reviews of this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy, like a full review, but I realized that it might just be easier to do a collection video because some of these were coming in and coming out. So I wanted to just get this done before I do like a purge and kind of sell some of these. So we're going to go through and talk about each one a little bit. I don't want to make this video too long. That flipping video was already like 13 minutes, so I don't want to just make this like a half-hour video or anything. But that being said, let's jump into the first one. So put these at the side and we'll talk about the MachineWise Serif. Now, the Serif is an absolutely amazing Balisong. I've talked about it before. I just want to go over it briefly. It's got that sandwich design where it's basically two pieces of titanium that fit together, so it's almost like a channel, like a solid titanium channel like on this guy, but instead he's able to cut it in half and then you can take it apart and put weights in the end, which is really nice. I've never messed with the weights on this guy. I don't even know which one it is. I think it's the titanium ones, but not 100% sure. Don't really feel like taking it apart. The tune is amazing. It flips amazing. I really enjoy it, and that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, everyone's heard of the Serif. Everyone knows kind of this is, it's a $650 Balisong for a reason. MachineWise makes great stuff. So, moving on. The Fellowship Blades Empusa. Now, this has quickly become my favorite Balisong. I had a Fellowship Blades Medusa, and I loved it. Loved the shit out of it. I thought I'd never sell. Then got this, and I realized this is just a better version of it. I think it's a cooler blade. It flips the same. That big Tonto had the same thing at the end where you had meat at the end of the blade, so it carried that momentum very well. Exact same handles. These ones are just anodized, and I freaking love this anodization. The green and the gold looks so cool. And yeah, I've been flipping it. I love it. It's got a cool little ring. It's not too, it sounds great. It's not too over the top when it comes to like the sound. Like I was talking about the chab in the flipping video, and it sounded like you banging two metal pipes together. It was so loud and kind of obnoxious. Honestly, I felt bad for my roommates whenever I'd flip it. But this guy is a phenomenal flipper. I haven't tried the Empress, which is a sandwich design from him, and that's what this blade was designed for. But on these handles, I will tell you, it is amazing. I highly recommend it. Grant is an awesome dude, and Fellowship Blades make some badass stuff. So check them out if you can. Highly recommend this knife. This is Balisong of the year for me right now. Who knows? Something might come out, but another one that was contender for Balisong of the year, I'd say, is the Cygnus. At least for me, I think this is a very unique Balisong. I really like the design here, the way he implemented these the G10 into the titanium. It provides incredible grip. The balance is great. The tolerances are really good, and I think all around this is a really good Balisong. I think they go for around $420, and I think that's very fair. You get a trainer blade, you get all extra hardware and everything. LDY is great for that. Great company, and they make great stuff. This is one of my favorite flippers, and I think that honestly, like if you were just taking flipping into account, I think this is one of the best flippers because of that grip and because of how unique it is. The grip is just throughout. Chaplains are great. It sticks to your finger. Like aerials are good. It's lightweight. It's fast. I can't say enough good things about it. So highly recommend this one as well. Raken. I don't think I need to say much about this. Squid is a great company, a great guy, and yeah, this is just, you know, it's a staple. If anything flips like a Kraken, it's usually pretty damn good. And I think, you know, that's saying a lot when you set the standard for the entire hobby. So again, this was like my dream configuration. I had an old Tonto. Blade HQ dropped these and I swooped it. So yeah, brand new. Love that thing. Now we got, this is actually one of my personal favorites. Beater Rep, tip to shit. You know, it's got that old pattern. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got like the scratches on here. Whatever it is, like maybe they took like Scotch Brite to it or something. I don't know what it is, but on the like the offsets right here, like where the grind isn't, I think this is a V2. I don't actually know, but all I can say is it flips amazing. The original owner was a modder and he like super glued or Loctited it all. So it's got great tolerances. I really like the way this thing carries momentum and the way it flips. So this for me is another home run that I just absolutely am in love with. So highly recommend a Replicant. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard about Replicants, but it's got something nostalgic for me and this will not be leaving the collection anytime soon. Now, the two coming up are new to my collection. This just came in yesterday. This is the NRB Slight. This is a live blade variation of his ultralight trainer model. I believe there are differences. I think that's aluminum, this is titanium, and I know he said that there's some weight differences and whatnot. The design isn't one for one per se, but it's a really great design. The knurling on these titanium handles provides incredible grip, especially for a knife that's just a straight channel. This is really nice. These little cutouts, jimping gives you good, you know, they're sharp enough to where you can actually feel them. They're not just there like on the Kraken. You can just slide right over them. These actually give you a bit of grip. The blade is really cool. You can tell it's like a machine blade. It's got those cool machine lines on it. Very sharp. This is a prototype. I think even I have one on pre-order as well, and I think even the pre-order ones have Proto on them, even though they're not prototypes anymore. But the prototype to the from my knowledge, the prototype to the pre-order is a 1-to-1. I don't think there were any changes, but this is a very interesting Balisong. I really enjoy it. It's thin, it's light, and it's just fun to flip. It's got great grip, and yeah, I highly recommend it if you guys can get a hold of one. I know he just did the first batch of pre-orders, but I can tell these are going to be really, really popular. So keep an eye out for these, and shout out NRB, because I've had a couple of their models before, but this one is head and shoulders above the rest. Finally, this came in 2 days ago, and it is unfortunate for the Slight because I absolutely fell in love with this thing the second it showed up. The Jimpy Sentinel. This is something that's been on my list for a long time, and I am very stoked to finally have gotten one. This one is still razor sharp. The guy who had this actually had two. He had a brand new one. It's like a safe clean, and then you can tell he flipped this a little bit, but I mean, this thing was babied. I am absolutely stoked I got this. It's got a little bit of meat here at the end, and I'll touch on that in the flipping video, but the handles are super, you know, they got that, they call it the NRB finish, you know, that stone wash. It's really nice. It does get a little slippery. I'll talk about that again in the flipping video, but overall, this is a really well-designed knife, and yeah, I've just honestly immediately fell in love with it. It's got a thick stock too, so I don't know. I've noticed I might be liking a little bit more blade bias. Not really blade bias, but I like when there's weight at the tip. That's just something that I've noticed that I really like when it comes to the momentum of the Balisong. But overall, this has become one of my favorites, and this is my current knife of the year that I've personally had in, right? So whether it came out this year or not, I'm just gonna say, for me, for the Balisongs that I've tried this year, this for like takes the cake. My Serif, these are probably my top 3 at the moment. with this being the clear winner. I'm gonna definitely say that I enjoy flipping this more than I do the Serif. I think the Serif doesn't get enough love anymore. Like when I first got it in, I absolutely loved it, but I've had it for about a year now. Yeah, maybe a little bit less than a year. It's very impressive and it's fun to flip, but something about this this specific Empusa just takes it for me. So let's get them all back in here. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate all the support. I know we just passed 100 subscribers, which is absolutely insane to me. I started this just as a fun little hobby. I love knives. I've loved Balisongs for a long time, so any support I can get is awesome. I just love connecting with you guys, meeting people in the community, and again, thanks for all your support. So I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. Hey guys, so welcome to the second part of this collection video. I wanted to include a little video of me kind of flipping each knife to just kind of give you a better idea. But so let's just go over through it. I don't want this to be a super long video, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about how each one flips. I kind of broke it down already in the tabletop, but yeah, I'll give you a sound test each one and we'll just kind of go through it. So starting off with I'd say my contender for Balisong of the year. That's what I've been saying, and that's really how I feel every time I pick this thing up. This is the Fellowship Blades Empusa. It's the Empress blade with the Medusa handles, and I gotta say, this thing flips amazing. It's very long, and it is a little, you can see it's got this kind of rectangle vibe to it on the back here, which it is a little clunky in the hand, but I gotta say, it flips really well. The length and just how the weight is distributed throughout this Balisong makes it just an absolute dream to flip. And yeah, it just carries momentum really well. It's lightweight. As you can see, there's a lot of milling here. And the blade is just, I mean, you can see it's wicked, but the meat at the tip means that it carries momentum so well. So things like fanning, things like rollovers, they feel great. And then aerials as well. This thing's very predictable in the air. And yeah, it's one of those Balisongs that you don't have to give it much and it just kind of takes off because of that weight, and because of where the weight is distributed and kind of how it's been designed. So this is definitely one of my personal favorite flippers, and I'd argue knife of the year so far for me. So next we'll get into the MachineWise Serif. This is probably my favorite flipper. Just in terms of quality, sound, just everything. I mean, this thing, because it's got that sandwich design, it almost feels hollow. Like, it's light, it's bouncy, it's responsive. It just has a great feel to it, and I think it's really unique. There's not another Balisong in my collection that feels like this, and there's nothing that I've tried that has this same kind of vibe to it. Aerials are really nice. It's predictable in the air, but I mean, there's just, when you buy a 600, sorry, I'm trying to do all this and film it at the same time, but when you buy a $650 knife, you kind of expect a certain level just of, performance as well as quality, and I think that MachineWise does a great job of providing a really beautiful and quality product that also performs really well, so I've seen a lot of Balisongs where it's like, it's made out of amazing material, but it doesn't flip that great, or vice versa. It flips really well, but the materials aren't, when you're paying $400 for a Balisong, or when you're paying $400 for a knife in general, you kind of expect a certain level of just material and kind of what you're actually buying. But S35VN blade, titanium Chanwich handles. It's got changeable weights, which are super nice. I think this is, I haven't messed with this at all, but I think this is the titanium weights. But either way, phenomenal. Absolutely love this thing. And it is my most expensive Balisong, so it kind of makes sense. This $650 is what I paid for this. I think I paid like $400 for this. So this was definitely bang for your buck. We'll move on here. We'll get to, so this is one of the new knives that came in, the Jimpy Sentinel. And I gotta say, this thing fucks, man. I mean, it's got a great ring. It's got some weight to it, which helps carry that momentum. It is a little slippery in the hand. It's got a stonewash finish, which is nice. And then also the cutouts definitely help. But, you know, it's, ever since I got it, it's an impressive knife. And it's the only tang pin knife I have. And I think it's just classic, you know. It's got that really just simple but elegant blade shape to it. And the handles, just the knife in general is just very simple, but it performs really well. And I've just really been enjoying this thing. The one thing I'll say is, like, it is a little bit heavier than I'm used to, which isn't really a bad thing. I kind of wish, just because these came out so many years ago, I kind of wish he would do, if he did come out with another one, I wish that he would do kind of like a V2. You know what I mean? Like make some changes, maybe make some speed channels or something. Not change it too much, just add so little things that could maybe make this a little lighter and a little bit more refined, I guess you could say. I mean, at the time, I forget when he did the last drop of these, but at the time of the drop, I wasn't compelled to buy one. This popped up on the secondary for a good price, so I figured I'd swoop it. But you know, I am impressed by it, and I get the hype. But like I said last time, this is a 440C blade and titanium handle, so not the nicest materials ever. He could have used a better steel. I'm not complaining. I'm not using my Balisongs, you know, fucking camping or cutting down branches and shit, so not a big deal for me. But just something to keep in mind. But the flipping on this is really nice. It's got a nice ring to it. Here, I'll give you you can kind of hear that. I'll do a quick serif as well. Got that kind of clacky, and then we'll do all right, moving on, we've got the Kraken. Now this Kraken in particular, I've had other Krakens, but this one was something that I really was on the hunt for a long time. This particular configuration with that Tonto blade and the two-tone, the dual tone handles, but I absolutely love this thing. Got it on a drop on Blade HQ. You know, if I do a purge, this one's gonna be tough because, you know, Krakens, it's not like they're super rare. It's not like they're hard to get or anything. But I've been searching for this one for so long, I'll probably end up keeping it. You know, there's been many reviews, many videos about these Kraken, so I'm not going to go super in depth, but that's the Kraken. That's my favorite configuration. It flips great. It sounds great. Now, moving on. The Cygnus, this is another pretty new one, I'd say, like within the last 2 months, month or two. Now, this thing's awesome. The G10 gives you such amazing grip, and it's a light Balisong. So, I mean, aerials are good, Everything feels good. Chaplains are great because of that G10. Really gives you a nice grip. Everything just, you know, it performs well. I think that this is awesome for two reasons. One, there's nothing that looks like it. It's a completely original design, and the design itself is phenomenal, you know, and that's the other thing. It's just like, it performs so well. So not only does it look amazing, but it's probably the best flipper other than my Serif, and just everything about it, the grip, the size, the lightweight design, you know, the sandwich design, it's just, it does a lot. And I think LDY is putting out some really interesting stuff, and I like what they're doing because they're adding a lot to that $200 range where it's kind of, you know, it's not budget, but at the same time, like, I think this one was like 460 or something like that. So this is still running a pretty penny, but there are cheaper models. So next up, we've got the OG Tonto Replicant. Now this thing will always have a special place in my collection. My first Replicant was actually an alt blade, and I freaking loved it. And I tried to mod it, and it ended up just not working out. I put it, the scales that I had didn't end up fitting with the sex bolts, and then everything put back together, it had crazy tap and play, and I sent it around to try and get fixed, and they fixed it, and then it came back and it still had tap, so I ended up selling it. But this one, got it for a great price, bought it as a beater. I've been beating on it. You can see the tip is just gone, but it flips phenomenal. Something about the Replicant, this G10 sandwich design, is just phenomenal, and it carries momentum very, very well. So like I said, this isn't the, you know, prettiest, newest Balisong, but it's just so nostalgic for me, and it's got a special place, and it flips really good. When you, like, the original owner of this one was a modder, and he just super glued the crap out of these. So this thing is a tank, and I gotta say, like, for how much he beat on it and how much I beat on it, it flips so freaking well. Like, it really is impressive. So rounding out the collection here, last but not least, we've got the NRB Slight. So this was the prototype, as you can see here, Proto. It's got a really cool design to it, and it's funny because when I first got it, I didn't fall in love with it right away like I did the Jimpy. This took some getting used to, and I'll tell you, now that I am used to it, it is phenomenal. The grip on here, the knurling, is so well done. The stonewash is just really, really aggressive, which adds kind of like another layer to that grip. And it's freaking awesome. It's not like crazy, like ringy or it. It's got a subtle little crack, little kind of like clack to it, and it's got a little bit of a ring, but it's nothing obnoxious, nothing over the top, and it flips so well. It's so predictable, really responsive, and just incredibly neutral. It reminds me a lot of the Tonto Kraken, just how neutral it is. But yeah, you know, like I said, this is the new one. The purge is going to happen soon. Not sure how that's going to go, but I will say that the last couple days I've been flipping exclusively this, and it has done nothing but impress the absolute hell out of me. It performs really well. It's super predictable. Like, aerials are so much fun with this thing. Fans are so much fun with this thing because of the grip. Like, he did a really good job with these. NRB just knocked it out of the park with this one, and it flips so well. So again, here's the collection. Just wanted to flip each one for you guys, get a little sound test in, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.